All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the coffee run here with old Johnny down here in Atlanta on the mega road trip. The 11-day adventure has begun. There's Ian Olson joining us. So before we start, I'm going to remind you of even though it's a Saturday, it's going to be a little bit weird today, remind you of all the important stuff, right? Yes, BAM on Saturday. We're going to remember to always have goals, even if you're having stupid fun, right? Manage your bankroll, understand your bankroll. Make sure your strategy, your risk appetite, and all that stuff plays together, right? You're too high risk with no money, you're never going to hit your goal, right? If you're, if you're the opposite of that, you got too much money and don't understand your goal, you're going to burn through your whole bankroll. So be careful, right? Identify opportunity, and sometimes that means time to leave, not just time to lean in. All right, keep your emotions in check. But today, no emotions are going to be kept in check at all because we're here with our good friend Gargoyle. I'm actually at Casa de Gargoyle over here. Good morning, sir.
Morning. You go down to the Atlanta airport and you just don't know who you're flying,
Just
right? Just driving around, found this bald-headed straggler, lost. It's like, I don't know where I am.
yeah,
I'm like, hey, you want a craps lesson? I only charge like $5,000 an hour.
I'm telling
So
you.
he's been here, since yesterday. I mean, you owe me. By the time we're done, it's probably going to be
Well, I
$150,000.
told these guys, they were like, why weren't you at the Brown Water Bash? Like, I can't afford it. Why can't you afford it? Well, Gargoyle is charging me an arm and a leg to be at his freaking house over here. So, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Anyway, before we start the real stuff, we have to do what we always do. We have to go out here and get our YOLO in, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows I do this every day. I YOLO in the morning, right? So I start with $68,
All right.
right? And I went 64 across, $4 horn.
All right.
And every day I put all my money, shove it all in,
Okay.
and take one roll. That's it. Whether I'm good or not, right? And usually it's me. I don't warm up. I just throw the first dice of the day, and that's it. I got 575 in the kitty.
Uh-huh.
I've got more than that. This is not updated. There's more than that. But I've got $68 held back just in case we PSO over here, right? So I'm gonna go bet, and you're gonna throw the dice. You're gonna get a couple warm up shots in. When you're ready to go, you say yes. I think this is the one you should go.
On your YOLO?
That's right. It's all or nothing on you.
You go put the whole thing in the dome, right?
No. I am not. I wouldn't do that to you. All right, let's switch over to the camera view here, and I'm gonna go get my bet set up, and you'll see that on the other side. And this camera here, is that over there, or is that over here?
Which one?
This one here, where the
This
4 or 5
one is that right there. If you want to set up, you can set up right here.
Yeah.
For the bets, but it's kind of cut off. You can go over there if you want.
Yeah, I'll go over here.
But they can't see really the bets.
They don't need to see them. I'll describe it. So I have 575, right? So here we go. Let me go.
You can just grab. Just don't trip and fall on the wires because I don't have insurance on you.
Let's do 575. I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna go 440 inside. Okay. There's 400. 440 in. And we'll do, let's see, if I do 440 inside, and if I do $50 in the 4 and 10, that's 540, right? And we'll do a $40 horn. I'll put it there on the C&E so people can kind of see where it's going to go. All right, so it's 440, 540, and 30 is 570, or 580's out there. 580's out there. So you get your little warm-up shot, and then you tell me when you think you're ready to go. That was a 6. That would have paid me, by the way.
Oh, that's the toss. What do you want me to do?
That was the toss. That was it? Yeah. I'm not ready yet. Now we're ready. That was your warm-up toss. It was your one crazy. Here we go. Now I'm ready for you.
Oh.
Bets are hot. No pressure. It's a 7.
I mean,
now we got to restart the whole damn thing. That's
no. I mean, how many warm-ups do you want me to get?
You tell me when you're ready to go.
I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Yeah. I want you to give me the go-ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying out different sets because I'm just using a part toss.
Okay. You get yourself ready to go.
We're not ready until I tell you to go.
Right? Okay.
All right. So let me get some warm-up tosses in here. Because you're doing stuff over there. I'm not even.
Where's your stick?
I'm not even looking at you.
It's a hard 8?
Yeah. Here, let me do it because I'm just old habits.
All right.
So I mean, I know. I thought you were talking to the viewers.
Oh no no.
You know. So you're gonna go on me. So
Yeah, you tell me. You give me the high sign. Yeah,
Okay.
give me the
All
high
right.
sign.
All right. But usually you don't do practice shots,
I,
right?
the first shot of in the morning is that one. I have my coffee. I feed the dogs. Come downstairs. I grab the dice and I just say a prayer and go.
All right.
Every day. How's the volume, by the way? People in chat, let me know how's our volume. We sound okay?
Guys, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. You got the microphone, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they can hear me.
I just want to make sure I'm not too loud.
So you go cold. You don't practice.
I go
or
cold,
anything.
yeah.
All right,
I go cold.
So this is good.
This is it right here?
This is it.
Here we go. This is the shot. Let's do it.
Shot.
Right here. 7. So now we start over again on Monday when I get back to the office. We got to look at that. Burn, and all my money goes bye-bye. Just like that. Easy come,
Beautiful thought,
easy
by
go.
the way.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty. I believe me.
You know, and I switched it so that it doesn't 7 out, and it still.
And the
7
7,
out.
yeah.
You know what? When it happens, it happens.
Sometimes the prettiest tosses are the worst results. Let's put this all back.
They are. And I wasn't using anything funky. I was just using
Just a nice little beautiful.
Nice little.
Yeah. Oh no. All right, let's go back over here. Let's go back and we'll talk some more to the folks, and then we'll have some fun here. So, audio's good. They say, cool. That's classic, right? Perfect, Ian. Right? We get the 7 immediately, right? That's exactly what should have happened. So we'll start over again when we get back. We'll start over again on a new YOLO when I get back to town, which is fine. We were almost there.
That's what happens when you bet on Randy's.
Well, you never know, right? I bet you bet on yourself. That's why I bet on myself,
you
right?
You should bet on yourself. Don't believe all these,
Come on down.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Right?
All
right, let's get into it. Let's talk about real stuff here. So, you did a show with Jeff. You got to come over this way a little bit more. There you go.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to be like.
There we go.
All right.
So you did a show with Jeff, and I commented on this the other day. So you think you know craps.
Right.
And the message of your show was, are you being true to yourself?
Correct.
And a lot of that boiled down to a little bit of these idiots on YouTube that claim to be experts and they don't play that way in the casino.
Artists, they're just in it just to kind of like scam people out of their money and or bragging rights. Look at me, I'm all that and a bag of chips, and they're not even a French fry. So
it's a good one.
It's I mean, like when you do your shows. Sometimes you bet with black chips, sometimes you bet with green chips, but that's because you're trying to show a lesson, right? When you go out, you do with strategies and stuff like that. It's whatever you do on your show. What Jeff does, for example, what Ed does, he does the same thing in the casino. But if you if you go out there and say, hey, I win $1 million or something like that, and just trust me, if somebody's making any decent money, like $250,000, $500,000 a year playing craps, they're not out there on YouTube bragging about it.
Well, besides that, they're not also charging $50 for a thinking lesson. Like that's if somebody's leeching money off you like that, you got to be careful about it.
No.
And that's to be said though. Dice coach charges, right? Heavy charges, but it's different, right?
That's different. They charge for an experience. They charge for knowledge that they've had over the years, and you gotta if you have the money to spare, go take a class with one of these wizards. I call them wizards of the game, because their years of experience and what they do is enough to kind of help anybody pick up something. I mean, I talk about my experiences with heavy. I talk about my experiences with Dice Coach, but other people, viewers or whoever, they'll have their own experience going in there and looking at them. I can show you dice mechanics all day long on YouTube, unless you're there and doing it one-on-one. Like when you came over yesterday, we were throwing stuff, and I already could tell, one of your tosses, like, dude, that's try this, try that. That one-on-one visual, it's worth the price. And again, look, I don't get any money out of I don't get any commission. I'm just telling you that it's your money. If you want to go out there and spend it on classes or lessons, find somebody that's that's decent, honest. You know, don't spend it on these scam artists
Yeah.
that just want to scam you out of your money.
Well, the thing is, like, I think you used the right word, experience, right? The experience of being with Heavy for a day, or Coach for a day, or you for a day, or Ed for a day.
Yeah.
That's a part of it, right? And honestly, like, you and I have done probably 5 or 6 times live where you've tried to coach me over Zoom, right? You're like looking at I got cameras everywhere. You're like, okay, here's what you should do. Until when I got here in 3 seconds, you're like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. It took you that quick to go, oh, change this one thing. And like and then we spent what, an hour and a half trying 17 other tosses, just kind of having fun with it. But like when you're here and you can see it in person, like, oh, that's the grip. And you're like, no, you're effing that grip all up.
Yeah.
Like, when you see that in live, you can't replace
that.
that.
I mean, like, you know, Mr. Yo11 came in, you know, within a few minutes, I figured out exactly what he's doing wrong because I could see it. And others, Georgia Girl, you know, a lot of the Georgia crew, Patricia, Peter's wife, folks at the bash that attended met her. She was very shy to throw dice, and she was doing it from stick left 3, and I told her, I said, you need to throw from the hook and you need to do it that way. She threw a lot here on the table, and then a few days later they were up at Murphy, I think. She threw a 42 roll hand, and there were only a few people at the table. But her husband made a lot of money off of her because she wasn't betting. But she it wasn't her mechanics, more of her fear of chips. And because, you know, oh my God, people are betting, you know, money. Then she gets scared and she sevens out because she doesn't want to throw. And I just, you know, the mechanics helped her. But the big thing is, like, look, they're just chips, and nobody's forcing people to put money on the table. You know, and anybody who's like worried about when they see large bets on the table, it's you know,
it's human nature though, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You shouldn't feel bad, you know, if you lost them that because you didn't twist their arm to do that. And, you know, we always feel bad. Like I feel a little bit bad that I cost you the YOLO, but you know, you're like, hey, you know, no practice, just
do it. Yeah.
I usually practice a little bit. Even, you know, when I go to the casino, you know, I practice upstairs. You know, just throwing on the pillows and the dice. You know, Howard taught me that a long time ago. No, I'm sorry, not Howard. Heavy. You know, you use your ironing board upstairs. I have a tape measure, so I set it up the height of the table, and then the width, you know, to the bed. So I throw off of the ironing board, you know, all the way to the pillowcase, and of course the dice won't roll. But I'm just working out my shoulder. I usually do that for half an hour before I even get on the table in the morning. That way, when I'm on the table,
you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Right.
This morning I just got coffee and we just came here and we've messed around with the technology for like half an hour. I'm like, hey, throw that YOLO. It doesn't work like that. But but people looking at your mechanics can help you, and then it's a lot of it is self-confidence. There's a lot of ladies that you know want to throw dice. They're sometimes they're very good at it, but they, you know, and some guys too, they see all these bets on the table and they start freaking out. Look, that's not your number one. That's not your money.
Right.
Number two, nobody's forcing them, and hey, if they're taking a chance on you, just like they're taking a chance on everybody. So confidence is huge.
You can't.
But one-on-one, when somebody sees what you're doing, other than a camera can tell some things, but it can't tell everything.
No, and for example, like what you noticed yesterday, and we'll kind of give it away here. So you know, I throw the chopper from stick right, and there was a time where I misunderstood you, right? When you were saying about how many times they should spin in the air, was one piece I misunderstood. The other thing was you were saying to me like pretend like you're throwing a tissue in a wastebasket, like you're just trying to lightly get into the wastebasket, right? So I was trying to be like super soft with my throw, and like and you're like, what are you doing with your shoulder? Because as I'm doing that, I'm kind of leaning in, and I'm like, you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to drop the tissue in the wastebasket. Like that's not what I was talking about.
No,
and you undid that really quick, and it's like
it needs to be like a nice soft drop shot, but you still have to spin it
Yeah, I
to
was
get it
doing
there.
way too
It's a
soft. Yeah.
combination. It's a combination of both. And then you
Yeah.
started doing it, and then the dice started landing. Every now and then it just goes crazy
Yeah.
because
Well,
of
I'm
the table.
my landing zone is 1 inch from the wall, so I'm
Yeah,
trying too hard to get. You're playing with fire down there for
yeah.
sure.
I told you it's a thin line that you want to get it this way, and it kept on hitting the bumper.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but it takes practice. I mean, you can over time hit
Yeah.
it eight out of 10 in that
Right.
same spot.
But not doing it, but doing it in person was, and when we were in Vegas. When was that? For Heavy's birthday, I was out there
Yeah,
and watching him teach and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's one thing to watch YouTube and see we bet and we talk about these great strategies and stuff, but when you hear Heavy talking people through betting progression in person live, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I don't go from 35 to 75 on the 5 on the first shot because I dreamt it one day. He's like, I got a story for you. I saw this guy. Every bet, every sequence has a story. And it's not like one story. It's like he's been playing for 65 years.
yeah,
There's a little bit of wisdom in there, right? So when you're hanging out with these guys and like even with Tony and everybody else, like they aren't just making shit up. They're sharing what they've seen
yeah,
over the years. And like, this is why I bet this way, right? I'm the same way. Like, I bet my ways because of how I've experienced the table and how I want to, like, the way I identify opportunity is different than most people, right?
Yeah.
I play a different way, but it's I hate to say wisdom. It's my wisdom, my years
it's
of
your
experience. And
It's your
that's what
experience.
drives me
Yeah.
to do the things I do, right?
Like my 640 across has a separate mentality of what I do than like my 160 across. Like my 640, I'm trying to get out of the hand after 4 rolls and then regress.
Mm-hmm.
My 160 across, every bet on the table is a separate bet, and once it's earned the right to stay on the table, then I start pressing it
And that's on your throw,
on
right?
anyone.
Okay.
So if I see a shooter and I want to bet on that shooter 160 across, I treat every bet as its own.
Mm-hmm.
So if let's say a 6 hits, I take it to 60 from 30, right? And I have $5, so I'm only there for 25. Another 6 hits, it pays 70. I take it to 120. So now I'm in it for 30, but I have what, $15, $20 in, so I'm only in it for $10. One more time, it goes to 240. Now I made my money back plus profit. But if a 7 shows up and the person only hit like 3 sixes in a row, it's like, well, you lost
Mhm.
160. Yeah, that's fine, but I'm treating every bet like I won't press the 4 if the 4 doesn't hit,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not looking to regress from 160. I mean, what
Right.
are you going to do? 160
Right.
down to
And see,
$30, 6 and 8.
and I've adopted this way of playing that's the opposite of late, where I'm pressing all of them, right? And people are like, God, you're crazy to press them across. But I do that because I don't know what's coming, right? I have no idea that person is going to be repeating numbers. I don't expect them to. So I do kind of a gloss press, right? And I collect little less, but way more often than most people do. So
Right.
my collection cycle is frequent,
But if a
but they're not
person-
huge,
If a
right?
person is setting the dice and not changing dice sets
Mhm.
every throw like crazy,
Mhm.
they're setting the dice and they're staying with that dice set, they're going to hit a certain cluster of
Sure.
numbers. So there's no sense of betting other and pressing other numbers if those numbers are not going to hit on that cluster.
Right.
If a person's just picking the dice and throwing it, then they're going to hit a whole bunch of numbers.
They're going to be all over the place.
They're
And
gonna
that's
be all
where,
over the
yeah,
place.
right.
That's when I do my 6 and 8, and I feed the line. If a
That's
6
it.
hits, I take the quarter and put it on the 5. If an 8 hits, I take the quarter and I put it on the 9. If a 9 or 8 hit, I take a quarter and put it on
Yep.
the 10. If a 6 or a 5 hit at that point, I take a quarter and put it on the 4, and then I start pressing and taking.
That's the
Because
genesis, yeah.
That's a person that's all over the place.
Mhm.
And if they 7 out, I'm only invested $60. I'm
That's
not
like duck
invested-
and cover.
that's-
So basically, that's what we do,
You know,
right? You go from
right.
high and you
But
spread
if
out.
a person is setting the same set and throwing, they're going to hit a certain cluster. They should hit a certain cluster. I'm hoping,
Mm-hmm.
based on what I see, that they're going to hit a certain cluster. I'm pressing that cluster because that's where I'm making the money.
Right.
Now, if a 4 hits, stuff like that. If a non-cluster number hits, I may I may take that first, and say, okay, now it paid it. It,
Mm.
it, it earned the right to stay on the table
Yep.
because I made the money back. And then it hits again, I may press it. But numbers that are hitting, I'm pressing, 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 pressing. Stent placer, I said that on the bash. He was awesome. He was killing the sixes and eights.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his roll, I took my $30, six to 1200, and he hit it. And I dropped a black.
Did he hit
chip,
like eight eights or
1500.
something like that? Is that what it was? He hit like 8 or 9?
He hit so many sixes and eights. It's not even funny. But that's the dice set that he was using.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, just like with Sarge and Dr. Yank and others, I also, when I saw something, it was a lot of help for me to be there with some of these folks, because I would see something and I would just go talk to them after they roll. Like like Stent Placer, for example, he threw straight out to like, not to the bowl, but a little bit to the right of the bowl, straight out from stick, right. As his toss progressed, he would start moving over to the center for some
Mm.
reason, and it's just a toss decay. And then at some point he would hit the center, but it would be an angle toss, and the dice would roll to the right bowl and end up in a seven. He did that twice. So before he threw the third time, that was early during the bash. I walked up there and say, "Hey, Stan, I see you doing that." He's like, I don't know what I'm doing it. I said, okay, look, most of the time if I'm standing over there, just treat each toss as the first one,
Mm-hmm.
as its own, and always concentrate on where my hands are.
Right.
So at the private table, when he hit all these sixes and eights, I was next to Ed. I wasn't here next to him. When I was here next to him, I would just kind of like lean in and just say, "Hey, remember, just do that." When I was over there, I would put my hands like this and then go like that, and he would just hit it
give a
right
spot.
there,
Yeah. Okay.
right there,
Yeah.
right there, every time, and his
A
thoughts
little
went
bit of
went.
team play,
He was
right?
awesome.
That's all good.
Him and Rock, and now the year before that, Rock had some good roles, but he kind of sucked on the private table. He was pissed at himself, and you could see him. He was very, very pissed. He was a rock star. He was literally a rock star this time. He had some. He had. I mean, you could bet at one point. I didn't go 640 on anybody, and I should, but it got late in the day, and I was way past my bedtime, and even Ed would tell me, you need a pillow, because I was going like this, and because I don't stay up till 9, 10 o'clock at night playing craps, because I'm up at 4, 5:30 in the morning trying to get on the coffee run. These guys, go all the way to midnight. My hats off to them. I can't do that. Number one, it's not for me. Too many people at the craps table, and that's a good way to lose a lot of money. Number two, I need my beauty sleep so I can get up in the morning early and do my real coffee run. But I was standing there next to Ed, and these guys took over after after we did the tossing earlier, and then went and ate and came back. These guys took over, and they were killing it. They were killing it. Now, did that help Stent that little? Hey, maybe not. Doesn't matter. But hopefully he'll take it, and then he'll realize that if you throw there, you're gonna hit a lot of sixes and eights. If you start going to the center, the guys is gonna roll to the bowl, and they may seven out. That was a good thing that I saw based on his tossing. But it's always good to have another set of eyes.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a DI, even if it's just somebody that you guys just live next to each other and you want to come in and just practice. Watch each others and say, hey, it does this. I watch a lot of our reruns with Jeff and stuff when we're tossing, because camera angles tell me what I'm doing wrong with my mechanics. That's all I care about is my mechanics. I don't really care. We've covered this. I don't care, how many good tosses I toss on my table. One day I'm gonna do a toss just for tossing on my table, and then just do the app or whatever. But right now it's just mechanics, and because if you don't have your mechanics right, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're gonna go to the casino. You're gonna lose money. It's all about mechanics. People struggle on YouTube. I see them struggling and stuff like that, and I know that it's their mechanics, but I don't say anything because you know, hint. Don't tell, if you're on chat, don't tell the YouTuber that, what set to
Right,
use
right.
or what toss, because what works for you is not going to work for
Right.
them, especially on, on their table. Um, but if I see them doing something wrong with their hand, like going like this,
Yeah, there you
going
go.
like this, trying to do a part toss, and they're like flipping the dice or something like that,
That's a different thing.
that's a different
Yeah.
thing. But a lot of times
Right.
I don't say nothing because maybe they're
Yeah.
trying to do something.
Could
right?
be. It's hard. Like I said, not everybody has 5 cameras, right? And like when you do, like me, like my cameras are set up like yours, like these overhead cameras. I'm more trying to show the landing and the bets
Right.
than the hands and the
Right.
arms. So you can't ever really see. It's hard to adjust. Like
Yeah.
who could ever adjust me while I'm doing that? Because you can't see what I'm doing. It's like
Yeah.
a better or a different setup anyway. So you wanna throw a little bit? Do some betting?
Sure, you're gonna do the betting, and I'm gonna do the throwing.
So I think what's gonna happen first
You're not
is
gonna-
this.
you-
I'm gonna make you make a don't pass bet today. In front of the whole
All right,
world.
folks, it was nice
front-
talking to you. The coffee right now is a single. I think I hear my wife calling me upstairs. I think I have yard to cut and weed eater. And
That's funny.
you do understand that this table has not seen a don't bet.
Oh,
since-
it's about to though. It's about to. Let me I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna take this thing out of here. Let's get this. I'm gonna take this off. Hold on. Screen share. Whole table now. So if we're doing this, right? The whole betting, they really can't see, right? I'm trying to see where we can put our money so they can see it. What's the best place to? I guess
I'll tell you what. We can do it over here, but we'll have to change it up a little bit. So let me.
we're gonna make a quick little tech change here, folks. I'm gonna.
Move that out of the way. And
Oh, you're close to it. Yeah, the 4, 5, 8, 9 up on this side over here is probably
yeah, and what I can do is I can just go.
other way. Yeah,
The good thing is that these things are on wheels.
they're on wheels. You had a great setup.
And
There we go. The 10's in view. That's all we need was a 10 to be in view. All right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna throw. You're gonna bet, right? And then we'll switch sides. So I'm gonna make you bet my way. You're gonna make me bet your way when you throw. How about that? Trust me. This is
I'm
gonna...
not playing the don't. I don't care what your way is.
I want to show you why I do what I do. Where's my?
So you're
where's my
gonna tell
dice?
me what to bet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what to bet. Yeah, I'm gonna coach you. You get on that side though and do it. You can put your bets. We can put them down here. Where's the best place? The D on don't. Okay. So
Dude, I'm gonna need some brown water.
there's some morning brown water, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I gotta go get some. You got something to drink, or you want your RC?
I still have a little bit of coffee left. I'm good.
All right, you want your RC?
Yeah, sure. Bring it on him. Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna get a couple warm up throws in here while he's doing that, and then I'm gonna make him make a don't, but don't tell anybody. I'm gonna make him play the don'ts. Really, just for a little bit. I want to show him the horseman. Oh, look at that throw! My goodness gracious. I love this table, by the way. He's got. We were talking last night about the way that he's got the table set up in terms of the underlayment and stuff. So I learned a little bit about that too. I might make a change on mine as we go here. So, all right, let's get the puck off. All right, so your first bet,
All right.
and there's a reason behind the madness here, right? When I warm up, right, first throws of the day, I don't know what it's going to be, right? So this is called the horseman. I'm going to teach you the horseman, and this is designed to be a switcher, right? So if I happen to be a PSO, we'll be okay. We'll get even or make some money on it. If it goes longer than that, then the don't pass bet becomes irrelevant, and we just play it out, right? So it's a transitional way to play. We can do it cheap. You can throw. Let's do it for like $200, right? So just put $50 on the don't. We use the D because that's what's on camera. He's sweating. He won't even reach across the table.
I feel like I need to go take a shower after this.
You will, and that's okay. It's okay.
And clean up
it's
really
your
good.
house, right? So there's your don't bet for 2 units, right? Once we set a point, you're going to do 3 come bets at $25 each, right? So the idea is, if we start repeating numbers, that bet just goes away,
Okay.
You can hedge it off. You can do what you want to with it. It's designed to be like, while I'm figuring the table out, if I had the early sevens, I'm going to be okay. And then we start playing for real. But it's designed to like, let me survive early. That's the whole reason. It's not really like I'm playing against you. I'm just trying to get the toss. Look at that. What was that? Ace deuce. Ace deuce. Perfect. So the don't bet pays for itself.
So
You put the profit here in the field, I guess, right? So people can see where it is. That's your first one. First win. Now what's gonna happen now?
You're gonna get a 7.
I'm gonna throw a 7 or an 11. 100%. Here we go. When I start seeing horn, and by the way, you know me, when I start throwing horn numbers, you know what's gonna happen. Oh, he's going to get something. What you got there? Oh, your rack. Okay.
I learned that from watching Waylon.
All right, here we go. You can judge my toss too. A little short, and that's a 4. Perfect point. Want to set that for me? All right, so we've made $50 on the come out. We got a point of 4, which is great for this bet. Now we do one come bet. And again, the idea here is while I'm trying to figure out my toss this morning on the coffee run, 7 comes now. How we doing if we get a 7 right now?
You make $75.
That's pretty good, right? So if I get the early 7s, I'm okay. And then we'll move away from this if we can.
But if you keep saying 7s on the table, you're going to throw a 7.
4 knocked off the don't. That's good though.
So
hard 4.
This goes to
the comeback goes to the 4. It should be a 1 unit, right? And we lose our don't, but that's okay. The don't was free anyway, so it's fine. That goes back to the bank. So the next move is this. So this strategy really is a don't pass and 3 come bets.
Okay.
The don't pass got burned, so what? So you're going to do either a pass line bet as your second come bet, or wait for the point and do 2 more come bets.
And you don't do don't anymore.
Nope. Once it gets beat, it gets beat.
All right.
So it's a free bet, right? So that's how I look at that. So
you do a comeback.
Yep. Well, that would be a pass line bet now because we're coming out.
Okay.
So we'll make it the ass line bet to give Jeremy some color up. Here we go. How about a nice come out 11 right here? Huh? 6 or a 5, 5, 2, 7.
5, 2, 7.
So it's a wash.
Well,
so
that's not working.
Right. Yeah, it's come bet. Come bets are on.
Comeback.
So it loses, but it pays that.
And it pays that. So.
And we're exactly even.
So now
right.
What do you do?
Just restart. So now I start again from the base. So that $50, right? So again, the only thing you would have got paid on as a regular player would have been you would have had pass line with odds on the 4 and would have won that, right? But here I'm not awake yet, and I haven't gotten hurt, right? I got the 11 on the come out, which paid for the don't the second time we lost on there, and now we're exactly where we were. We have lost and gained nothing.
So we started with 200, right?
Yep.
But
so let's play it out. So $200, you put the $50 in the don't. We'll start over again. So $50 in the don't. We'll play it out. $50, and that paid, right?
Right.
Then we had a come bet to take one of your right. Go to the come. It went to the 4. We lost on the don't. Right. Take another 25. Put us to the pass line, and the 7 came. Right. So those two pay each other. So that one loses. That one wins. Put all this money back over there. You should have $200 again. Right. You're back to even. Right. So while we're feeling the table out, we didn't get hurt. That was the idea, right? That's the horseman's made for that until we get ready. And then when I start grooving in, then you go, okay, now he's throwing. And we'll start doing our regular betting progressions. I'm still sucking, right?
You haven't even did any decent roll.
Exactly. Nothing's good yet, right? What do I have there?
10.
A 10, okay?
So this goes to the 10.
Yep.
And
One come bet.
Quarter come. All right.
Until we find a groove. Can't see it.
1-6.
All right, cool. Comeback goes to the 6.
For another one.
Yep. And again, we're still good if you know what happens. I won't even say it out loud. We're still in an okay spot. 9. Okay.
All right. So no more combat.
One more.
One more.
Yeah, we do 3. And even now, if we got a what, we're going to be okay. We still win 3 and lose 2. We're still up 1. If we don't get one and that thing gets set somewhere, now you're a right side player.
Okay.
Now we start. We don't. This bet here becomes an irrelevant bet. It'll be there,
but
in case. But we don't. We're really now we're going. Okay, maybe we're on a little groove here. Maybe those 3 bets will start paying themselves off. That was a great landing spot. 6, off and on. That's perfect.
So comes here. This goes.
And you get paid. And you get paid. So now you have.
Why do you get paid?
Because it was in the 6 was here, right? So the come bet moved up. The one that was there gets paid.
Oh,
right. So yeah. So
that's right.
Right. So that come bet looks like this. So you get your money back.
Right.
Plus the 1, right?
Right. So yeah, this is the bankroll. This is the profit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can make a decision now, right? Because you got $100 out here, $100 left over, and 25 here. You can say, hang on to that for ever because John sucks, or
I think
you can go grab something
to try and get another number.
You could, or go grab. Now you can play right side. You can just take this and go. Let me get a $12 8 or a $25 5.
Yeah.
I haven't thrown 8 or a 5 yet though, but you can now. You can spread out with your profit.
I say we just go another one and then maybe have like three on
sure.
there and then just see if we can win it.
Yep. Look at that. 7. Perfect.
So
you lose the 2 come bets. Yep.
And here.
And those 2 go bye-bye.
2 go bye-bye.
There's your $100 there's your $200 you started with, and there's your $50 in profit. And in reality, for the regular player, all I did was throw 1 repeat number. It was the 6. The 6 hit twice.
Right.
And that was it. Right. So again, I don't even think I'm still warmed up. But as I'm finding my toss, that's a way I find my toss. And then when I'm ready to play for reals, then we go out there and we do the normal inside bettings. Let's switch sides. I'm going to go over there. You throw, and you walk me through your 640. And I'll just be your better.
Well,
now that I've 7'd out like a dope, right?
So I'll walk you through the.
I'm going to put 1,000 in the rack.
Through the random first.
Yep, there's 1,000 in the rack for right now.
Okay. So let's say you came in with 1,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you just no.
Not going 640 across yet?
No. You just somebody that showed up. And
oh, okay. Okay. You want to play from 0. Okay.
From 0. So somebody's just picking the dice. Mm-hmm. So they get a point 4. So move back to 4. That's the point of 4.
Okay.
And then so just go $30, 6 and 8.
All right. Okay.
So we got hard 8.
Yep.
So it pays 35. So you take the quarter and put on the 9. And you rack 10.
Sounds good. Let me see the rack. Yeah. I'm going to put the rack over here, actually.
And we got a 7.
All right.
So basically, you're in it for 50 because you got paid 10.
Yeah.
Right. So you lost $50 so far. So the puck goes off, and then another random shooter comes in, and then
9.
4, 5, 9. So you put a $30, 6 and 8.
Some change here. Okay.
We got a 6.
All right.
You get paid 35.
step on the wire over here.
You got a
6.
516.
All right.
So you take a quarter and you put on the 5.
So you're going to spread out before you get your money back.
I'm still using, you know, forget about what we lost. This is a new game.
Yep.
I
can't see it. 4? Okay.
So
7. Yep.
Okay. So, but you're only in it for 60, right? You're not in it for the long haul. All right. So let's say, you know, okay, I'm up. You know, I'm on the table now. It's my turn. Usually, I'm on the table with like a couple people.
Sure.
So I'm down maybe $100 right now.
Yep.
All right. So, you know, now, you know, I get on the table. This is my bankroll. Usually it's a lot more. But,
Sure.
You know, so I put a quarter on the pass line. They can see it here. Yeah, they should be able to see it. All right. So I'm just going to do on access. You got 7. Like that.
Now, do you stack that or you rack that?
Rack
you know, Dice Coach will tell you to do.
Yeah, but
Dice Coach is all about.
But I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't be doing the drop shot, but I'm gonna. 6, 4, 10.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go 640 across,
Including. You're not going to do the odds?
And then I put I take max odds.
Get your quarter here. All right, so you had the 10 plus the odds then.
Right.
Okay.
So on the 4 and 5 I go max odds. On the 5 and 9 I probably put 100. 6 and 8 I don't take odds.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't pay much.
$10.
6, 4, 10.
Perfect.
Buckshot.
Yep.
So that's perfect. So
200 for 5. Here, what do you got down there on odds?
I got 250, face 5 and a quarter. Right?
Yep.
So
You're $200 up here.
and then $200. Forget about the VIG. So
Yeah, I paid the VIG already.
So we put our odds back.
Mm-hmm.
250. That's what we started with.
Yep.
Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So now I have a decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
I can either continue and do my 640 for a few hits, or I already made my 500.
Yeah.
I can just go down to 160 across.
Right. If you catch a hit like that, you're
right.
Because I'm looking at your rack right now, and there, right here in the rack, that's $1,000.
Right. So
basically $1,000.
So I could
$990.
I could either stay out there because I already made this.
Yep.
This is paid for plus $200 in profit.
Yeah.
Right. And so we can reset.
Do you want to come to 160 or what do you want to do?
So let's just leave it like that. And
Okay.
Bring it out. Right. So we're already 700 from
Mhm.
you know.
Nine.
639. So I can say, regardless of what I do, I'm up, but I can be up like big time and good for my session.
Yep.
Or I can just do a few more. Or I can say, you know what, I'm up a couple $100. Let me get a few more. On a long run, I can make boatload of money.
Sure.
On a short run, I'm still up. So that one hit gave me options.
Yeah.
So, on a 9, I'll just do the 100 and let's just stay up for a second.
Okay. Nice.
639.
Look at that. Buckshot, baby.
2 buckshots.
Yep.
Where were those on the YOLO? So you got 140.
140 here, and you got 25 and 150 there.
All right. So, and then the buck goes off. So now, okay, 2 buckshots, and we're looking pretty good. We're up.
Yeah, so if you take do you take your rack at this point and do like a little, here's 500.
Yeah,
there's 300. There's your 1,000.
I always know where I'm at.
Right. All this is profit. Everything out here is good.
So everything out here is profit. So let's break it down. Okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, 305, and then 640. So that's almost a grand.
It's a grand plus your 25 in the past line.
Plus
You are at $1,000. Yeah.
But I'm feeling good because I hit 2 buckshots.
Yeah.
Right. So I can say, all right, at this point, do I want to make a $1,500 profit, or is my $1,000 profit good for that session, and then I can go 160 and just shoot for the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Greedy Bastard Gargoyle is going to probably say no.
Greedy Bastard.
Yeah.
Yep.
GBG. My GBG will say no. Let's grab a couple more.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, disciplined Gargoyle DG.
Your coffee
wins,
run, yeah.
Wins. So basically, DG goes bring everything down, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And just
leave the 160.
160 across.
Yeah.
Off on the come out.
Yep, you got it.
So all that comes in.
Yeah, 160 here.
Yeah, you can bring it up here where they can see it.
Yeah. So there's your.
So all that can come into the rack.
Yeah. There's your So this is the OG bankroll. There's your profit. I'm gonna color this up for you too. It's a quarter.
Yeah.
So what you've gotten here is your 640. Right. You get your 1,000. Your 640. This is 160
And
to go across with. Plus you got some extra change in there. Right. So yeah.
So now, guess what? I can play relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm like, right now, I'm just talking to the dealers, and because I got my money.
Yeah.
I got what I came for.
No matter what. So this is what I was saying earlier about identifying opportunity.
Yeah.
Like the opportunity you have now is 2. 1, opportunity to get the hell out, right? To leave because your option.
You call it opportunity.
Right.
I call it option.
Right. Well, the opportunity you have an opportunity to walk away with money, and you got whatever this is, about $700 or $800 here in profit. So no matter what happens, you're leaving with $800, right? But now you've also created opportunity here to, if you go off on a heater,
I can just
you can have this money here. You can press this with impunity. You don't have to worry about being careful anymore.
Exactly.
These are just like who cares bets, really. Right? What do you got there? 516.
This is the point. So I don't take odds, and we'll just leave it
Okay.
over there. So now
Sounds good.
Doesn't matter what happens right now. I'll still concentrate and shoot as if I have 640 across.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling more comfortable with what I have because I did reach my goal.
What do you got there?
516.
Nice.
I swear. I mean, I don't know if we did this zoom camera, but that's 3 buckshots in a row.
Yep.
Well, the zoom camera is over there, but maybe people can see it right here. That's the zoom camera. Maybe we can do it.
It's yeah.
This way.
You can see pretty good. You got the dice over there.
I can
Yeah.
move it.
Yeah.
Like that, and people can see it. I'm not making it.
I trust you. I can see it too.
Yeah.
So all right, so you got 35 here and the quarter on the pass line. Now, how are you going to attack this?
So you press it to 60.
All right.
And you tell the dealer to keep the change.
Into the rack it goes.
That's how. No, this is not patting on the back, but based on how I played on the private table, the dealer's got almost $1,000 just for me. Because 160 across, keep the change all night long. That's all they heard.
Just
keep the
change.
Keep the change. Keep the change. While I was making
Yep.
money.
Do you now? So you sound like me actually in that. So I do that a lot. I'll give my reds or give my whites, right?
Put the 5 here. That's the dealer money.
Okay.
You know.
Because often
A
people
lot of times they play.
They want to play. I like to just give them the money and say, here, drop it.
No.
Yeah.
I say keep the money and do whatever you want to do with
Yeah.
it. A lot of times they play
Yeah.
and then they make more money. All right, so the puck is off. So here we go again. By the way, this is what I was using at the Hard Rock, except I was like,
Good looking throw
I
right
was
there.
like right here.
Back to the 6.
Back to the 6.
Anybody seeing what's happening with the 6 right now? There's some.
Is that laser that's shooting the knife? But Stent Laser would hit, set the 9, and then he would hit like 8 6s in a row. That's how you make money. You don't make money by buckshotting unless you're
Right.
You're
Unless
betting,
you're
unless
odds.
you have odds.
Yeah, buckshots can be really frustrating. 8.
6 to 8.
All right.
All right.
So I'm guessing the same thing. Go to
Same
60,
thing.
take the change, right?
Same thing. Go to 60.
Take
keep
the change.
6
Is that 9? Okay.
So go to 50.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the change. And usually the dice comes back fast because there's only maybe 2 3 people that take
Yeah.
on my coffee run, which is why I do it that way. Two, part 4.
All right. 50 for 1.
So, so I go to 50, yeah, and I tell them to keep the change.
Keep the quarter,
Yeah. Now, oh,
right?
crap. No, I forgot. It's not 160, it's 180 across.
Oh, because you're at 35
I'm
out
at
here.
35, sorry.
Okay, let's reset that.
Yeah.
then. Hold on, let me get all this back here.
I'm sorry.
Hang on, that was your
on
nickel
me,
there. So you're at.
It's 35 and 35. Right.
So that's gonna be
I
so
tell
that's gonna be
them-
70 for 1 then, right?
70 for 1, and usually
Still take the 1.
usually I tell them to keep the change. They keep $4, and this goes to 100. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No problem.
I don't know what that quarter is for.
That was.
That
was. I thought was gonna be the dealer tip
Yeah.
before. So let me
Yeah.
get this colored back up. All right. There's the,
So now my 35 goes all the way to 100.
Yep. I'm gonna split your colors up in there so people can see it.
And we got a 7.
7
Up
out.
to 7.
Where was that throw when on my YOLO? That's what I want to know.
Well,
All those great tosses.
I needed some practice. So all that money goes, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The dealers made 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, $24.
Yep.
And this is what we started with.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3. 775. 7. 780. 790.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my goal was 500.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You know, thank you.
Dealers made $25.
Thank you. I throw them another.
Yeah.
I throw them change, and I woke up with 775.
I like that. So let me ask you this: so you're when you're doing your 640. Now let's pretend because here's what happened, and I want
So
to
let's pretend that we go 640 across.
Yeah, I'm gonna set
here-
it back
here-
up for you. I'm gonna set it back
1,
up.
2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 5. All right. So
There's
give me
there's $700, right?
right.
I'm gonna give you the
and then
40
Give me a
change.
quarter.
There's your 40 change. Okay,
Right.
and we'll go
So-
640 across. Now I want to ask you a really important question here because unfortunately, I say unfortunately, you buckshot it, right?
Right.
So you got paid on your odds, right? But
Right.
in
So let's
in reality, let's say you didn't. You didn't buckshot. What are you
Right.
doing up here? That's
So-
the thing.
So
Let's-
let's. I'm gonna set the point.
okay.
So the point is 9.
All right.
Okay. And
Let's not hit the point. Let's pretend
let's
we're
pretend
not hitting the
yeah,
point,
let's
right?
pretend we didn't hit the point or 7. Let's
Right.
just say let's
This is
pretend.
good on the line. We got 5, 6, 8,
Right.
10 or something.
So
Right?
let's pretend. So that's
8. Okay.
Card 8. Okay. So I go 10 for 150. Right. So 10
For 150. Okay.
for one.
Got you.
Two greens.
Yep. Got you.
So this is 1.
You're same betting. This is the key. You're same betting. You're not doing anything weird. Okay.
Right. So we put it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we go again. 6 2. 6 5 1.
I'm gonna mark this up too.
Aces doesn't do anything.
I'm gonna mark what the numbers were so we know what they were. So
you got aces.
Mm-hmm.
No harm, no foul. Actually, it's a double pitch.
Eight again. Okay.
8. So same thing. 10 for 150.
You don't have 10.
Okay, so
I'll just give him 140. Yeah.
So that's number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yo 11, yo.
You don't need to worry about it. Yo is probably still sleeping because they went up to Cherokee and they attended a concert really late.
Who did they see? Do you know?
I don't know, but they go to a lot of concerts. So unless his wife woke him up early and said, "Hey, go make some money. You got work to do." She runs the 6 to 8.
Wow, good lord.
She wears the pants and the
3/8.
and the Yo 11. So again,
150 for 10.
150 for 10.
That's your third hit.
That's my third hit. We don't do anything right now. I'm just making my hits.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it like right here across. I don't know how Waylon keeps his chips.
I know.
These things. Maybe I have the wrong rack. I don't know. So
those Amazon racks are off by a millimeter. That's what it is.
That's where I got it from. Amazon. So
there's your 7. Okay.
Yeah, but let's pretend. Let's pretend that this was
Sure. Give me another number. Any number.
Any number. Hard
6. Okay.
Okay. So that's number 4.
Okay. So it's 150 for 10.
So here's 10.
That's your fourth hit. And where are you at?
Fourth hit. Right? So 4 hits.
I'm going to make this a split, though, because I'm going to talk about something when we get to it.
4 hits. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, the goal is to have 500, as profit.
Right.
Right? So we got 5 and then we got 75. Now, if I take this down to 180, I don't have that.
Right.
So you're always going for the 5th hit so that you can do the 180.
But you're still, technically speaking, upside down right now. You 7 out right now, you're upside down.
Yes.
Right.
Because of the 640. You're upside down 100 and
whatever, yeah.
Whatever. But if
or $90, yeah.
Right. So let's say, we're gonna scroll and
it's an 8.
Another 8.
Okay.
All right. So now we got 140.
Yep. And now you're clear.
Now, here's my 180. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 535.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can take the 640 down.
Yep. Put
180, and I'm up in front.
Mm-hmm. And that was 5. And that was a 6, right?
That was an 8.
That was an 8. Okay.
So that's the difference between, and usually, I was doing a lot of talk and stuff like that. Usually, again, I've said it many, many times. I only do that on me and some
right.
people that I really, really trust. But if I can't do this at my table right here, 8 times out of 10, I have no business being in the casino playing that.
Right, and this is the point that I want to make.
I want to make sure that that people understand and hear it. I didn't say I have no business being at the casino. I said if I can't do this and win this much 8 times out of 10, I have no business in the casino playing that
way.
Playing it that way.
Yes.
Right.
Understood. Yep.
And yes, I'm not going to win every time. Sometimes I'm a PSO. I try it for a couple of sessions. So, but I have the bankroll to sustain those down.
Yeah.
If you have, again, there's your bankroll, there's what you take to the casino, and there's your buy-in. Okay? If my buy-in is $5,000, then my take to the casino is about this much, X times 5, and my bankroll is Y times 5. So we're going from here to here to here.
Yeah.
Right? Or else you can't do this. You can't do this paycheck to paycheck. Now, somebody says, well, what if I take it down to, 160, get a few, and then go to 6 and 8? That's fine. That's a grind.
Sure.
That's a grind. But, that's how you can use it to build up your bankroll. But I hear people say, well, I'm in the casino, my bankroll is X amount. That's all you brought. So if you're buying in with your bankroll and you have a bad session, you're spending the next 3 days in a room watching blurry screens because the casinos don't have good reception because they want you down gambling, or sitting at a coffee shop saying what the hell did I do wrong? Well,
right.
You pretty much blew the whole bankroll on one session.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta be smart. That's why I tell beginners use an envelope system. Because I used an envelope system for years and years. Heavy taught me the envelope system, and that kept me in the game. Now that I have a bankroll, I use my judgment and my experience instead of the envelope system, which is honestly the same thing. I played my coffee run in the morning, and a couple of sessions. If it doesn't work, I'm out.
I don't use an envelope system either.
And then the next day, it's a brand new day. And by the way, every session is a brand new day. It doesn't matter what happened in the last session. Don't bring your old negativity into a positive game.
Right.
I tell people if you're gonna come in on a positive table and be negative, get the puck out. I don't want your negativity on the table. That's why we're not gonna go there. But but with the 7, I'm down 140. I'm not down 640. I can recover from that.
Right.
At PSO, I'm down 640. Okay, my next session, I make my 500 and maybe a couple of more hits. I get up to 6. I'm even.
You're even again.
If I have 3 PSO sessions, okay, I'm down 640, 640. I'm down 1900. Who gives a fuck? I brought X amount.
If you got your bankroll to do it, that's right.
Yeah, and then I have my bankroll. You're gonna have down sessions.
What you can't get, what people can't get locked into.
I only played 640 a couple of times. Most of the time, I was 180 across.
Yep.
And I played it a lot on other people because usually we stack people with players as soon as we walk up. I'll tell you, I had at the bash, I had 6 PSOs and several 2-roll 7-out. On my coffee run, I quit coming down because I would get up at 5, be at the table at 5 in the morning. There's already 5-6 people on it. I stopped doing that. The best coffee run was the IP. I played a lot at night, and I was up down. And when the dice came to me, I did crappy. I had at least 8 PSOs. I remember. At some point, I told people don't bet on me, but I had some good rolls from straight out and stuff that I recovered. I had other people that helped me recover my losses. So while I was down, I was up. I was even, and we're not going to my slot bank account is separate, so we're not going to talk about that. But people say, well, how do you come positive from? It's because I money manage. I don't blow my bankroll on one session. I don't stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to bring win back. If I lost 9,000, I only have 1,000 left. I don't stay up at night trying to bring back 9,000. By the way, folks, you need a miracle. You need a miracle to win back
which
$9,000.
happens to
Which
people.
it happens, but it's very rare.
Right.
The odds of that happening.
Well, like you said
very
earlier,
rare.
if you don't have the bankroll to do it, don't do this. Obviously, right? This is
Right.
right. And you say $2,000, who cares, right? Well, $2,000, most people. But if that's all you brought was $2,000, you care about it. If you brought, you should be doing that. Right.
If that's all you brought.
Right. But don't be a dumbass.
You should be at $30.
100%. Yeah.
But remember the video that I did with Ed from Road to Win.
Mm.
The person that was playing conservatively on the 500, the person that was playing conservatively, sort of aggressive on the 2,000, and the person that was playing aggressive on the 5,000. The guy that was 2,000 had a lot more options. Folks, you gotta remember, if you are on a $25 table, and let me get some greens. If you go $25 or $30, 6 and 8. That's all you're gonna do. You can't say take me down to an 18. You're on a $25 table.
Right.
If you're on a $15 table, and you're 18, and you're 30, and if you take one hit and then you go to 18, you still have money at risk. You're not money.
On a $15 table though, what I do honestly on this is the move, right? If you're a conservative low bankroll, you get paid $35. Drop $1. Take your money back, and make them both look like 18, and now you're playing for $1, right? And then you can grind all day long doing that, right?
If you're at that $25 table,
you can't do that. You're stuck there. Yeah.
All you can do is either press up or fill the line, like I was doing.
Yep.
And you can't say, well, I'm just gonna take 6 and 8. You can, but not everybody's going to hit 6s and 8s. Although, the math, and I can't be, well, it's your channel. I can talk about the math. Yeah. It's not Jeff's channel. The math says, you have better odds at 6 and 8 with hitting because of the math. But if a person is setting the dice a certain way and all they're throwing all day long is extremes, 5 and 9, then you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You should say, look, I'm 5s and 9s are hitting. I'm going to go to 5 and 9. And then if they hit, I'm going to put the 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Reverse that, right? Always see what's happening at the table. Be aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's setting the dice for a certain dice set on the come out because they're betting a world bet, put a world bet out there because that's what they're setting the dice for. We made the dealers cry from the at the private table. I threw 4 in a row, and one of the guys at Stick said, I hope he doesn't throw another world. I hope he sets a point or something because we're gonna need a calculator. Last year, they had to use a calculator.
That's funny.
Jen had the rolls. I rolled 8 world bets in a row. I started with a quarter. Before I even set the point, I had $1,800 in my rack. And Ryan from Mark the Point was like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, I'm just setting and tossing. They had to stop the game.
Yeah, figure it out.
Use a calculator to figure it out.
That's crazy.
I mean, it literally took 2.5, 3 minutes, sometimes more, for me to get the dice back. And I would just set it, pick it up, and throw it. 12, and the dealers would be like, "Oh my god!"
But it's not.
Tina would say, "Okay, hang on. Let's go from here to here. Okay, this calculator minus this. And we're doing it, in the calculator, and we're just sitting there.
That's so funny.
Just waiting. But when the dealers say, "I hope he sets a point, and not hit another world," because they have to calculate.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a luck? Was it on purpose? I really don't care. Howard, bless may he rest in peace, used to tell me, it doesn't matter, luck on purpose or whatever. Am I getting paid? That's all I'm concerned about.
Right.
Oh, the dice went one like this and one like that. Oh, it doesn't matter. Did I get paid on that toss?
Right.
That's what he used to always tell me. It's not how you do things, it's the outcome of things. And it's like, okay, and here's the thing. Here's the big thing. If it's working, don't fix it.
Yeah, 100%.
I see a lot of people, throwing, and then one die starts going like that. But they're making money. I mean, all of a sudden they start mucking with the dice. Well, what are you doing? I don't like the die rolling over there.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap?
You're getting paid. You're getting paid. Don't mess it.
They muck, and then all of a sudden, what happens?
Mm-hmm. There's the 7.
Yep. It's like, look, if you have a flaw and the flaw is paying you, don't fix the flaw.
So let's talk about that. I want to wind back a little bit. and talk about two things at the same time. And the word is confidence. Okay. Which is interesting because you're betting the way that you just showed us to bet, which is not complicated. Same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet, and then make a decision, right? It's not like it's hard what you're doing, right? That's a confidence thing though, because you're confident in what you can do with the dice. You're right. If somebody who's not confident, me, wouldn't do that, right?
It's a mix of things. It's confidence and bankroll.
True.
I don't care how much confidence I have. If I don't have the bankroll to back it up,
that's true. I guess what I'm going, if again, 640 is the example, but if it was 320 or 160 down to 10, whatever, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. It's about what you do with the money.
Correct.
Right? I'm going to leave my whole thing out here for 4 rolls.
Right.
And even on roll 1, 2, 3, I'm still upside down if the 7 comes.
Correct.
You're confident in your toss, in your mechanics to say, I'm going to
there.
leave it up there, right?
Correct.
Somebody like me who's still learning how to throw, I don't have the confidence, right? So this is why I develop those systems where I regress as I go, and then I come, right?
That's
so to me,
with
640 looks like this. If I take your same rolls, right, and I go 140 the first time, right, 140, right. What I would probably do here is take this down 1 whole level,
so,
right. Remove a quarter off of every
I'll
single
tell you
bet,
what the best play, the best play for a 640 play is you take 1 hit.
Yep.
It pays you 140.
Yep.
Right. And then and if it's a $25 table, you put $20 in and say take me down for 160 across.
Right. One hit and go. Right.
Hit and go. Why is that? Why is that the best play ever? Even for me, I did that a lot until I my background. Why is that the best play? Because now you're only risking $20.
Sure.
And the first hit on any number, you can say, okay,
I'm out.
bracket.
Right.
Now you're in the profit, and then now you can do whatever you want. You can same bet. You can press.
Sure.
Remember when I said, okay, now I'm at ease because I have the money, but it took a while to get there.
Sure.
Right. For somebody that's trying to build confidence, it is high. If you have the bankroll, but you're trying to build confidence, you can go 640 across for 1 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if a 4 and 10 hit, now you're in the clear. You can just 160 and rack 40, right? But 1 hit, now you can go in the line. You can go.
Sure.
You can go inside for what is it? 50 and
you
60.
220. You go 220 inside.
No. 50 and 60 is
50, 60, 60. It's 220 inside.
Oh,
yeah.
120.
50, 50, 60, 60, 220.
No. You go from you get paid 140.
Right.
And then you go 120 inside.
Oh, 110 inside you're talking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you don't even have to put the 20.
That's right.
So,
right.
But
the thing is, you're risking the 160 for the 1 roll, right? So what I've been doing more recently is taking this and going like I have a little bit of faith, right?
But that's that's a confidence.
Right. A small. You're right. So this is a confidence booster, right?
It's a booster, right?
Yeah.
Now after a while, you go up to 2.
Hmm?
Let me get 2 hits.
Yep.
And you can do 220.
Right.
Inside. Or 110 inside, and then keep that. Then you can go to 3 rolls.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last year. You've heard it right now live. This is the last year that I'll be doing 640 across. When December 31st comes, January 1st comes, G will be going 1280 for 1 hit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go down to 640.
Right.
And then when I get more confidence, I'll go.
Which is that's exactly what I'm saying.
1280 for 2 hits because I have to build that confidence.
Yeah.
Why? Because I have the bankroll for it. And if it's been working fine for me for 2 years now, 640, and I have the bankroll, so now I'm going to build the confidence to where I'm going to go up high for 1 hit, go down to 640 for 2 or 3 hits, and then go down.
So let me set up this.
Now, it's going to kill my ADT, but who cares?
You're not playing for ADT.
Well,
so
and hard I am.
So what I would say for me, so I'm gonna go half of that, because my bankroll's here, right? I'm comfortable here if I need to be, right? I'll go 320. I can't go 640 yet, right?
Okay.
But I had no problem going 320, right? And taking my $70 on the inside hit.
For how many?
Watch. So take the $70, right? And I'll drop down to 160 on the first hit, right? This is a definitely a scared play. This is I don't have confidence in me yet to stay 320 the whole time, but I'll go down to here and I'll pull half my money off, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 400 or $200. I got 230 out of my 320 back on the first hit. So I'm like, okay, I got one, right? If I 7 out here, because again, I'm not with my throw comfortable yet, right? Then I'm not gonna get killed, right? I got 230 out of 320. I'm $90 into this hand, right? If I catch something in here, right? Now it's either here, right? Or at a $15 table, it's 96 across. So I might go here and go 96 across, and I'm out of the hand, right? And as a scared play, because there's my 300, there's my 320, $5 in profit, 96 across, and I'm like,
remember what we always say. Remember what we always say. You gotta. The whole confidence thing is to get you through the. Oh God, I have 640 across. I hope I don't PSO.
Right.
To more of. It doesn't matter. I broke even or I'm up $5, so it doesn't really matter. I'm more settled.
Right.
You still concentrate, but you're not scared concentrating. Your confidence concentrating.
That's what I'm getting to.
I'll tell you, Howard taught me that a long time ago, and even though Heavy and Dice Coach talked to me about it, Howard is the one that sat me down and told me. Scared concentrating is a bankroll killer.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence concentrating is a bankroll builder.
And that's where this regression versus same bet versus even some aggression is your mindset. Am I confident? Am I unsure? Or am I uneasy? And those three people have to bet.
I've seen you. I don't. And I'm sorry, we're not watching chat. So if there's questions, I'm pretty sure.
I'm on the other side. I can't even see the computer.
Baldy will come around and answer. But I've seen you. I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
That's why sometimes I stop watching your lives because I can't put up with it. You willed the 7.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I know.
I don't know how many times. I'm like, why are you talking about it?
Yeah.
Why are you? Don't.
Yeah.
Be positive. Say don't say no. I'm not gonna throw a 7. Just say what. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
Whatever your we're in the South. Sorry,
sure.
I'm gonna do my thing.
My thing. Yeah.
My wife keeps trying to educate this Lebanese on how to speak Southern.
Lebanese Southern accent.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What's your thing? Well, I'm gonna I'm gonna do your thing. You said one's on top, right?
Yep.
All right. Here comes the ugly G chocolate toss. He doesn't know how to toss, according to some people. So I'm gonna do my thing, right? My thing. I shouldn't get paid on this because one die went all the way over here and one died. So you shouldn't pay me for an 8. But the casino pays me for an 8. But so all right. Wait, one die came here and one die came here. Oh, my toss looks ugly. I don't know what to do. No. All that stuff is all you're doing is you might as well just take your chips and say, hey guys, keep half of it for you for the casino and I can color me up with half because I'm gonna end up losing it. With that type of thinking as you're throwing the dice, you're just gonna screw yourself.
Well, that's an interesting thing because people and I fall prey to this too, right? Because again, they scattered. Oh God, I got to fix something. And when I'm saying, oh God, I got to fix something, I'm hurting myself mentally.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I think? You know what I say? I don't look at the dice scattered. The dice is ugly. The dice did this. I look at what am I getting paid on the 8 and what's my next move.
Right.
I don't.
So what do you? So the people then who have a bad, I don't say a bad result, but a bad collision down there, like you just had, right?
Right.
They're going, oh, I gotta fix, that's to me that's that person that's not confident.
Well, no,
right?
That's the person that's trying to fix something in the casino with real money on the table.
It's too much.
Instead of fixing it at home with fake money at the table.
Right.
That's where you're supposed to be fixing crap. You know what? It happened. Stuff Shit happens. That's how I look at it. Shit happens. I meant my mental state right now is not on what happened over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on the positive side. I got money coming on the 8. What do I want to do? I forget about that, so that when the dice comes to me again, okay, we'll set the one and one on top. I don't know what, if it's hard ways or stuff like that. Okay, and now I'm not worried about what happened before. I'm just worried. I'm just doing my thing, which is, where's my hand going to be? Where's my landing zone? Oh, perfect toss. We got a
Midnight.
12.
Yep.
We're in a midnight. Hey, Dolly Parton. Nobody cares about Dolly Parton. She's standing over there, and behind you. But at the casino, they don't care. But do I have an ATS bet? Yes. Look, as Sarge would say, let's get the hard shit out of the way, right? I got a 12. Some people say, oh man,
wasted roll.
Wasted
roll. That's me. Yeah.
Extenders. I'm upbeat about it.
Yeah.
Another reason why I'm upbeat is because I set the ones on top.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? They just double pitched both of them. I hit a 12. I'm upbeat about it. All right. What's my second roll? Hey, let's see what we're gonna get.
Hard 10.
Hard 10. That's the dice separated a little bit. It doesn't matter. I'm setting the hard ways. I'm hitting the hard ways. I'm a hard ways machine. You know what? Give me a quarter on the hard way. Take my 10 up to 100. Not get the positive. Get some of the negativity out. Concentrate. There's always something positive happening. I don't care how much you suck or how much people suck at the table. There's always something positive happening at the table. Even if it's just looking around and seeing your friends standing next to you, that's a positive thing, because they may not be here with us.
Yeah, true.
To me, I was at the bash, and sometimes I would 07 come out and stuff like that. Oh man! But I'd look around and I see Jeff, Ed, Rock, Oz, Stent, Jen. I only see Jen once a year. I chat with her all the time. I see her once a year. Ryan, and I just turn around and I'm like, man, it's good to have you, stuff like that. Change the, Sarge had a couple of bad rolls. I took him to the side. I said, man, don't worry about it. Everybody has it. I said, why don't you do this, this, this? He even talked about it in a trip report. Change his mindset to like, you know what? Yeah, I'm fresh coming in. He had a 22 roll. I wasn't even on it. I went to eat, but always find the positive thing and then switch it from something that's negative. Because if you go down, Yoda, down the dark side, hate down the dark side, you'll never return, right? If you go down the negative, it's gonna stay with you the whole trip. All you're gonna do is you're gonna just bleed money. And even if you say, you know what, it's just all negative crap, I'm gonna play the don't. Somebody's gonna come in and start picking you off, because that negativity is in you.
Yeah.
It's not. That's what Dice Coach taught me about energy at the table. You gotta, forget about what happens. Some arguments is starting to happen over there. I usually try to.
Yeah.
I have practice. I've been married for 20 years. I can zone that out.
She can't hear us, I don't think.
No, I left the door open.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Love you, honey. But if it goes on and on and on and on, now I turn my bets off. I'm like, look, I'm done. But if it's like whatever little bit, I before I toss the dice, I'll pick up the deal and I'll say, hey, we'll bet something for you. What do you guys want to do? You want to bet? I change it to like, hey, okay, we're in the game. What do you want? Oh, this is for us. Yeah. Well, we'll ride with you on here. Change the conversation. Even though they were upset,
sure.
Change it, and I even get the pit boss involved. I asked the pit boss. I say, I know I only bet 5-5-5 for the dealers, but how next time I want to put more on the ATS. Change the conversation, change the outcome. Forget about what happened here. You have the option to do that. It's in your control, even if you're not the shooter. Even if something happened over here, and this guy is pissed. You can kind of talk to the dealer and get them, say, hey, let's do this, let's do that. You can leave the guy like, don't worry about it, man. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna make so much money on here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Who was with me? Oz, last year, not this batch, but last year, Oz and a few others were with me. There was an Asian guy over here, and I think Ed was rolling the dice, and he needed the 5 for the ATS, and this guy laid it. I'm like, no, man, you should hop it. You make double the money. He's like, no. I'm this is guaranteed.
I'm gonna lock
this
it
is
up.
Guaranteed money. I'm gonna lock it up. So of course, 2 rolls in, 7, boom. It came to this local guy, and I went quarters on him. Same scenario. And I told the Asian guy, I said, look, I'm gonna hop it for me and you. Don't lay it. I'm gonna put the money, and if you lose, I'll pay you the ATS. He's like, no, I hop with you. I'm not trying to make fun of Asians, but just, his English was like mine, a little bit broken. So we both hopped it, and he went 50s with me, and I went 50. Guy hit it immediately. He took me. He's like, it worked. I'm like, dude, it's positive energy. Now look, there's nothing wrong with locking in and win.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with locking in and win. But if you're already up for the session, if you already made money, why not take a chance and double it? We made money off the 5s, and we made money on the because both he and I had quarters. Oz, Ed, and the others, we barely had anything. And they all looked at me like, why'd you put quarters on a guy that's just throwing? I'm like, he's a local. He knows how to shoot on that table.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention, guys. What's going on around you? Money came in, and I'm like, we're all happy. And he ended up hitting the other side, and they took the glass at the IP. They have a glass on the middle, not like other casinos. They literally have the middle chips in a case.
Oh, really? So
to unlock it
to get the yellows out.
to get the 500s and stuff like that. The hundreds are out.
Yeah.
But everything else in the middle is in a case. So they have to pull it out and just give us the money. And I'm like, yeah. Came to me, and Ed's like, I want you to shoot. I'm like, why? Let's go, make money.
Done.
Let's go. Let's not give him money. But again, it's that's how I do it. I'm not telling people how to do. This is me. I try to change the negative into positive as much as I can. So and that's it is what it is, and always make options for yourself.
Yeah, I
don't know if
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah,
let me walk around and see what's on this thing. Hold on. I'm gonna go.
People asking questions.
Oh, I'm sure there's questions out there. I'm gonna slide the laptop in.
Answers, right?
Give me a second, everybody. Let me take a look at what's in. Oh my gosh, look at all this. John, new roadshow. Yeah, not a lot of chatters though, really.
Not a lot of people being chatty.
No, not really. We have 12 people watching, which is obviously Saturday morning, right?
Saturday morning.
Yep. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. Let's see. David Knight caught this. Yeah, David Knight is a great. So positive energy is a big deal, right? And it's funny. I talk about this. I'm going to switch to this other screen now. Hold on a second. I talk about this a lot on my regular show, right? About let me get off of that. Hold on a second. Let me go here. Not there. There we go. I talk about positivity all the time. Matter of fact, I've got a really great quote here to end the show with today. It's important for you, I think. Here, I'll slide over some. To be.
Oh, I'm not. My knees are killing me.
Oh, your knees. Okay.
If I get down next
to
you,
you can lean down though, right?
I'm just gonna sit on here on the stool and listen.
Let me make sure we can be. There we go. Now we're both in there. I say this all the time, right? And I'm not a believer in the positive energy changing the outcomes, but I'm a believer in if you're being positive and you're locked in, you won't make mistakes, right? And I think you being in the right mindset is a big deal. And I think people around you, I love what you just said about because I've been at tables where it's like PSO, all the way around, and you're like, and everybody's getting all frustrated. But it's like, you're right. I'm here with Big AZ and Jen and Jay-Z and all these people that you know from online, and you're like, dudes, we're here. Right. We're playing craps together in Vegas. Like, how much better could this be? And how much does that $150 really mean?
After that, we're going to go to the strip club. So
no, we're not going to the strip club,
just
Kathy.
But listen, it doesn't matter what I believe in, right? Mm. It matters for you. It's what you believe in and what you act accordingly.
Right.
To thine own self be true, right?
Yeah, to wind it back. Yep.
Yeah. that's throwing dice. I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing it consistently, you're gonna make money at the craps table.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I don't care what your dice is doing. I don't care how you're throwing. I don't care how you're betting. If you can do that consistently and be rewarded, you're gonna make money. Heavy taught me that a long time ago when we first met. He said, "I don't care if you put the dice between your butt cheeks and fart. If you can make numbers and do it like
However
that
it's
every single time.
however it's happening. Yeah.
Because you're gonna know how to bet and you're gonna make money.
Right.
So consistency. That's why we practice mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
We don't practice just for the sake of practice. We practice our mechanics so that we can be consistent. If you can be consistent and numbers are hitting, then you're gonna make money. You can do all things right and still end up in a bad outcome. That's gonna happen.
Sure.
You know, we've all been there. You did everything right. Your toss was perfect. It landed nicely. I mean, it just died there, and it was a 7. Okay, you know, it happens. There's nothing. If there's nothing you can change, you've done your best, and it's one of those things that happen.
Right.
But consistency is key. Confidence is key, and it's what you believe in. If you don't believe in the energy nonsense, that's fine. Do what you believe in. You know, what do you believe in? You gotta believe in something.
Sure. So I don't, like I said, I don't believe energy changes things negatively or positively, but I do believe in having good energy. Like I don't want to be I don't want to have negativity, right? I want to be positive, have fun, enjoy the experience. Like I want to enjoy the experience, right? That's the whole point for me,
look,
right?
We're gambling degenerates, right? You more than me because you play roulette, you play bubble craps, you play all that crap, right? You know.
Yep.
I've even seen you on the you know, I've been told, but I've seen a picture or two at the bingo. So you're a gambling degenerate. But you know, what do you believe in, right? If you don't believe in anything, then I don't know what to tell you. But everybody believes in something. Stick to your beliefs and go for it.
I think belief is good. This is a good point. I think believing in something, like in other words, if you don't believe in anything other than straight math, then you might as well flip a quarter, right? Or write the casino a check and say, here's $5,000. You give me back what you think I deserve, and let them just give you either give you 6,000 or 4,000, right? The belief part of it is like the consistency in DI, the whatever your strategy, all that stuff. I think it all does play in. If you don't, that's part of the enjoyment of it.
Right.
Part of the fun of all this, why we are degenerates, is not because we're chasing money or whatever. It's the puzzle.
I'm chasing
right?
money.
Well, I mean, I'm chasing money too, but I'm trying to I enjoy the puzzle of this game, of roulette, of betting systems in baccarat. That to me that's my vibe. That's my energy. I enjoy that part of it. If I didn't enjoy it, like I said, I would just flip a quarter and who cares? But I believe in that part of it. Like bringing good vibes, good energy, and enjoying the time
so
to me is
something
part
funny?
of it, right?
You know, when my wife used to go to Vegas and casinos, and you know, we're walking after my coffee run and stuff like that. We're walking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in here and play. And she's like, let's flip for it. And sometimes I go in there and play. Sometimes I go with her, and she's looking at, you know, things that I shouldn't be looking at because she's trying to buy stuff.
Right.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Hey, that's playing the math.
Yeah.
Right? But she does flip a quarter, you know, and says, hey, and I check the quarter. I check the quarter.
Make sure it's a good one.
I make sure it's a good one because Vegas, you can buy those.
The funny quarters,
funny quarters.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure she's not using a funny quarter. She's like, I'll flip you for it. Heads, you go in and gamble. That means that but I lose regardless because if I do go in and play on the craps table, I have to give her money to play slots.
See, my wife is lucky one. Yeah.
There, she goes shopping. I have to give her money for shopping. So I either, but at the craps table, I have a chance, 50-50 chance of winning that money.
Yeah.
Back for the ones I gave her at the slot machines, and you know, but you know, hey.
My wife is super lucky at slots. You know that.
You gotta keep them happy, or else you know we can't do what we do here every day. They'll kick us out. We'll be living in a cardboard box.
Yeah, my wife is she loves the slots, but she's very lucky. Yeah. And she can play slots like a camel. She can play slots for 10 hours straight. Like I'm the one who's leaving and coming back, and she's still playing.
Yeah.
Like she loves it, and she's
You know,
very.
I spent I spent some time talking to Jen last year and this year. Her wife is the same. She let her go and do all that stuff. She really must like be like, you know, I don't know if Jen lets, you know, I don't know what her wife is into, and if Jen lets her do whatever she wants. But I'm like, I told her, I said, you know, my wife, you know, says, yeah, you can go, but yours, you're like, yeah, go,
Go.
yeah,
Do your thing, yeah,
go.
exactly.
It's like, can those two talk to each other? Because, you know, I need some help on my front.
No, Kathy's, we're pretty good about it. Like she's got.
You probably met him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 I haven't. I've only met.
No, yeah, I met. Yeah, Tina's great. Now, my Kathy's got her own money. Like she has her. Like we both put money aside. Like we have our own gambling account. So whenever she goes to casino, it's all her. You know, and she does her own system, her own thing, and you know.
Has her own gambling account. Hmm? It's Gargoyle's account.
Gargoyle's account. Yeah. She has her own debit card to your account.
She has casino credits here when she plays the slots, and
right.
Apparently she has casino credits with me when we go someplace. As soon as we walk in, she's like, okay, so how much am I getting for the next hour? I'm like, this is for like the trip, and she's like, no. So.
All right, let's do this here. Let's go to the last little screen here. Oh, come on, there we go. Bam. Your final thoughts today. Oh my, now I'm out of the picture. Hello. Final thoughts. Yeah. So I put things on here like smart betting, locking up profit, using leverage. Like, what is your, like, if you're if this is the last thing you get to say to anybody ever,
so let's go back to, you know, when I did the 640 across and I hit the point.
Yep.
And I talked about degenerate G and discipline.
And smart G, yeah.
Smart G wins 9.5 times out of 10 because of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a lot of money and I've won more money than probably a lot of people that are watching, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Experience taught me is the smart play is be disciplined. What's your goal? Did you reach your goal? Be satisfied. So I'll leave you with Waylon's old saying, be satisfied.
There you go. That's smart. That's smart betting. It's okay to miss a roll. It's okay to miss a roll.
FOMO has nothing.
No.
FOMO is nothing.
If you're pulling money off and you are okay to leave, then be okay to leave, right?
I don't know if you saw the trip report.
Mm-hmm.
Monday morning, I did not do a coffee run at the first thing in the morning. I took all my money and I went to Starbucks until the bank opened, and the bank opened, I put everything in there. I only had $35 in my pocket. I had to borrow money from Jeff, and I dealt it to him when I was like, let's do one final run. And it was profitable, but it also could have been a loss, right?
Sure.
But he told me, he's like, you were so relaxed at that table, it's not even funny. That's because all my money was in the bank. I was satisfied. Mm-hmm. I didn't join the guys and the gals on the coffee run in the morning at Hard Rock because I was satisfied. I won. I was good to go, and that was it. So if I be satisfied, that little one more hit is a bankroll killer.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a penny for every time I said one more roll and it didn't hit, I'd be a million.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm with you.
Be satisfied.
Cool. Perfect. All right, let's get out of here. I'll leave them with one more quote that you said earlier today. So earlier today you said, you throw the dice and it's 7, shit happens. Shit happens, right? This last little note here doesn't say shit happens, but it says this. And I think this is, I want to leave you all with this quote. I love this one. I used to tell my, not a person. I used to tell my baseball players this all the time. Yeah, true. But it doesn't make you a failure.
People cause failures.
Yeah. When you fail, you are not a failure. And I used to tell my baseball players all the time when they would strike out. Things happen, right? It doesn't make you a bad, horrible person. So there it is. I'll let you all marinate on that for 10 seconds and we'll call the show. Meantime, I will see you later. We're
about to get ready here in a little bit and go eat hibachi. So,
there you go.
So we're going to fill up. Thanks, folks.
All right, bye.
Thanks, John, for inviting me.
You got it, of course.